Hey, we're back on SportsBIT, Betting Insight today. Time for a big game breakdown. Follow us on Twitter, by the way, at Paulie Howard, at Teddy_covers. As always, live odds, sportsbookreview.com. NFL, Saints hit the road to take on the Panthers. Carolina 3.5, 52 the total. They played last month. It was 41-38. It's 4-5 against 3-6. Carolina's season on the line. How much of last year's magic was the turnover differential? You look at this graphic. Last year, the Panthers were plus 20 in turnover differential. This year, minus 7. And Newton, we touched on it on Monday's show. The Mickey Mouse high school thrown it up for grabs, the pick six, with a 17-6 lead in the fourth quarter, Teddy. And they also had an historic drive in that game that resulted in 0 points.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with the first question. How much of the 2015 Carolina Magic was just turnover differential? And the answer appears to be a lot. They were a solid fundamental football team that made some breaks, but perhaps they were just a little bit too lucky. Plus 20, unsustainable. And you have to think right now Cam Newton's football gravity is coming back into play, or that of the Carolina Panthers. You talked about the awful play that Newton made, the bad decision with the pick six, but it wasn't just the pick six. Leading 13-3 in the third quarter, they go on a 20-play, 10-minute drive and end up with no points. They're second and 11 from the KC 21. Cam Newton gets sacked down back to the 28, and then he gets sacked again back to the 40, and then Graham Gano punts, and it's even a touchback. They don't even get the they don't pin him deep. If a score would have put the game away there, but Newton taking the back-to-back sacks that took him out of field goal range, he was the GOAT in that game. He wasn't the GOAT the last time they played New Orleans, but he was the GOAT this past Sunday.
For the Saints,
that doesn't happen a whole lot in Cam Newton's.
No, sorry, can Breeze keep this up? He was dynamite against Denver down the stretch. The last 19 passes had the highest possible passer rating, 158.3, 17 completions for 247 yards. How concerned are you about that Saints defense that they're running out of gas?
Well, let's talk about this, because when Drew, again, it's just the last 19 passes of the game. He completes 17. And with that perfect passer rating, that wasn't against some defense. That was against the Broncos defense. Defense that shut down Cam Newton and shut down Andrew Luck and shut down basically every good quarterback they faced. Now, maybe a little banged up, maybe a little gassed at the end of the ball game, but Drew Brees has been pretty good all year, and that's putting it mildly. And a Carolina secondary that's been problematic and couldn't stop him in the first meeting. I'm not convinced it's going to stop him here. The Saints defense, they got 6 sacks at Trevor Siemian. This is a defense that didn't have a pass rush. They hit him 11 times. They held the Broncos to 2.8 yards per carry. These are impressive numbers for a Saints team that hasn't had anything when you talk about impressive numbers in the defense side of the football. But when you allow 11 third down conversions and the defense is on the field for 83 plays, both of those are bad. And the 83 plays, that creates a very tough turnaround on a very short week. Seattle was able to do it, but you know what? New Orleans is not Seattle when it comes to defensive intensity. Let's put it that way.
You lean over again? Another shootout?
Wouldn't shock me, but I've got a lot of concerns right now with the Carolina Panthers. You say they have a chance to save their season. The chance to save their season came last week, and they had it, and they fumbled it away. I don't know that they bounce back from this most recent.
That's a good point. I was reading some of the quotes. Cam Newton said no reason to panic. You got to win out now, for God's sakes. You probably got to win out. I don't think 9-7 going to get you a playoff spot. That's how bad that interception was, and blowing that 17-0 lead. Hey guys, for the full video, go to sbrpicks.com.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SBR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.